Alright, today we're going to continue learning about non-proportional relationships. So we're going to look at an equation to be able to determine the m value, which is the slope, and the b value, which is the y-intercept, to graph a point on a grid. So first, to start out, I'm going to retrace my x and y axis on these. The grids came out a little blurry, so if you want to do this too, go ahead with your pen or with a pencil, just make that line a little bit darker. Or you might even highlight it with a different color. However you want to do it is fine. Okay, so now that I can see my x and y axis a little bit easier, I'm going to look for my m value and my b value. So I know that my equation is y equals mx plus b, right? So let's look at this equation. Y equals x minus 2. Well, I don't see an m value. So let's think back to last year, 7th grade. If we don't see a number in front of x, we can assume that that's 1, right? Because 1 times x is the same as x. So that m value is going to be 1. So when it's a slope, it's going to be 1 over 1. So we can write 1 over 1 or 1, either way. And then our b value is right here, negative 2. So remember, when we're graphing, I always start with this first because I kind of call this our beginning value, our beginning point. So I'm going to start at the origin and I'm going to go 2 down the y-axis, so 1, 2. So right here is my beginning point. And then my slope is 1, or 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1, over 1. And I can continue doing this for a little bit to kind of map out a line if I want to. And then I can use a straight edge, or I can just use my pencil and freehand it and draw my line. So let's keep going. Let's look at number 2. So we have y equals negative 7 over 5, x plus 3. So I know my m value is right here. So negative 7 over 5. My b value is right here, which is 3. We always start with our b value when graphing. Let me trace my axis again. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 up the y-axis. When we're looking at that b value, it's just up or down. How many are we going? It's the y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3. Yep, right here. And then my slope is negative. So when we're talking about rise over run, we're going to go up or down and then left or right. So if it's negative 7, I'm going to go down 7 first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I connect these 2 points, it's not a super straight line, but we get the idea. We see that that's a negative slope, right? So I know I've done it correctly if I have a negative slope, and you can use the anchor charts on the board to remind yourself what positive and negative slopes look like. A negative slope should be descending if you go from left to right. So that's what that one looks like. Okay, this next one, I have y equals 3x. Is that proportional or non-proportional? We should have said proportional on this one because there's no y-intercept. I don't see plus or minus anything. All I know is my slope is 3 or 3 over 1. My intercept is going to be 0, 0. I'm going to start right here at the origin. And then my slope is 3 over 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. I can count that a couple times. 1, 2, 3 over 1 to determine my slope. Then I can draw my line to connect. I'm actually just going to use this calculator right here to draw my line to make it nice and neat. You can use the edge of your journal, whatever you would like to use. And there go, there's our line. Okay. Let's do one more, and then I want you to finish this notes page on your own, and we will go over it tomorrow or later in class today when I come back. So right here we have our m value is -4, or I can say -4/1. If it's not in fraction form, we just put that whole number over 1. And then my y-intercept is -1. So remember again, that's where I start at the origin, and I'm going to go down 1 for my y-intercept. And then my m value is -4/1. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go over 1. So let's draw our line. And we know we did our slope correctly because that is a negative line right there, a negative slope. So we know that we have drawn our slope correctly. All right, on your own, I want you to fill in these last 4. Again, we will check these later and go over them later. When you're done with that, go ahead and glue this in your journal. These will be your notes for you to reference. Once you're done with that, you can click next and watch a short video to see what your instructions are for today's assignment, and then get started on that.